Hey, you're listening to Let's Talk Loud, your go-to podcast where we chill, chat and dig deep into Malaysia's past, present and everything in between. I'm your host Sarah, and this episode is really close to our heart. We're diving into the story of nationalism in Malaysia. Okay, and of course, I'm not alone. I've got two amazing people with me. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Chin and I'm super excited to be here. The topic that we're talking about today, nationalism, is it's more than just history to our country. It's an identity to us and it's something that we should be proud of.
Hey there, it's Holly here, and same as her. I'm super excited to talk about this topic. I think we often mistook the word nationalism. Okay, so today we're going to unpack what nationalism means.
Okay, so it's really nice to meet you guys, really. So let's start simple with the first question. What is exactly nationalism?
So basically, nationalism is the belief that people who share the same culture, for example, language, food, everything, they should have their own nation. But in our context, nationalism is more than just that. It was also about liberation. It was about fighting back after being colonized for so long.
Exactly. Nationalism in Malaysia wasn't born out of uh, out of comfort. It was actually born because of um, frustration. It's about the saying, "Hey, this is our land. This is our people, and this is our right to rule the country."
Right, and the struggle started way before Merdeka. Before we even had the name Malaysia, people were already resisting foreign powers.
Yes, and for our country, we were colonized by so many Portuguese in Malacca, the British, Dutch, and even the Japanese during World War II.
And each wave of colonization actually pushed people to think critically uh, about, especially the Malays, about their right, their identity, and the future.
Okay, and do you guys know what's interesting? In the early 20th century, we had this clash between two movements, which is the kaum muda, also known as young faction, versus the kaum tua, also known as old faction.
Yeah, and Kaum Muda at that time was more progressive. They wanted reformation, they wanted modern education, and they wanted change. On the other hand, Kaum Tua was more leaned towards religion and tradition, which they both played a big role in. They One of them pushed for political awareness, while the other was trying to preserve the soul of the culture.
Okay, so we continue to the next question. So when did nationalism actually start becoming more organized?
When did nationalism start becoming more organized? Definitely during the fight against Malayan Union in 1946, when the British tried to set it up after World War II. And the people of our country were like, no, definitely not happening.
The Malayan Union would have weakened the Malay rulers and given equal citizenship to immigrants. That sparked outrage at the time.
Okay, and boom, that's when Dato' Un Jaafar stepped in and founded UMNO, the United Malays National Organization, which is stand for.
UMNO's formation was actually a turning point for us as it brought together Malays from different states. And it wasn't just about ethnicity and it was more towards political unity.
And later, we had multiracial cooperation through the Alliance Party, which is UMNO, MCA, MIC, and that brought the independence movement to the next level.
We can't talk about nationalism without mentioning Merdeka. The moment in 1957 when Tunku Abdul Rahman declared independence at Stadium Malacca. That was like the most legendary history.
And during that time, he shouted Merdeka 7 times. which showed the energy, the pride that he had in him, and the hopes that he had for the country.
And fun fact, do you guys know that the negotiation for Merdeka took place in London? It wasn't just about protests and speeches. It's about diplomacy, negotiation, and strategy.
And it wasn't just one man's job. The people, the teachers, all of them contributed to that spirit of nationalism.
Okay, so honestly, I want to ask you some big questions. Okay, this nationalism is still alive today.
Honestly, yes, but it is in a different form. Today's nationalism isn't about fighting colonialists. It's more toward defending unity, preventing our culture, and building the future.
Yeah, I agree. When we celebrate our national day, when we speak against injustice or support local, that's more than nationalism.
Okay, and also we live in a multiracial country. So nationalism didn't mean by this is my group first, okay? But it should mean Malaysia first.
Yes, I agree. It's about protecting what makes Malaysia special. It's about protecting our culture, our people, and our diversity.
Okay, so here's the boom question, which is we call it as quick fire Q&A. Okay, so let's do a quick fire segment. Did you know? Okay, I will show some facts, and you guys react. Ready?
Ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Did you know Malaysia's first national anthem was chosen through a competition, and but in the end they picked the tune from a Perak state song.
What? So Negara has royal roots?
Yeah. Okay. And next question. Did you know that the word Merdeka is actually Sanskrit in origin, and it means freedom?
Really? That's so cool. I always thought it was just purely Malay.
Okay. Last one. Malaysia is one of the few countries that independence without major violence. Okay. So to be compared to other former colonies, we have the major violence in our country.
That's something that we should be very proud of.
Yeah. Okay. So let's stir the pot a bit. Okay. So we want to know the difference between nationalism and patriotism, because most of the people always they confuse between these two. So can you elaborate a bit?
That's a good question, actually. Nationalism is actually about the belief that your group should have its own nation, and this often comes with political movement.
Meanwhile, patriotism actually is more emotional. It's the love for the country you already have.
Okay, so back then, nationalism is important because nationalism is to gain a country. But now, we need patriotism to keep it strong.
Actually, patriotism today is more towards including things like helping your community, respecting differences, and protecting our lifestyles and for our future and everything, especially our democracy.
Okay, so now it's 2025. The modern era. We have technology, we have education, and even we have our comforts of our home. Okay, and that brings us to the question, what does patriotism mean to us?
Personally, patriotism to me is more about choosing unity when the media tries to separate us, they try to divide us from each other. And it's also about voting wisely, thinking about the goods that they can bring for our country in the future. And it's also learning about the history of our country and not just reposting videos on the internet. It's living up to the values that we've gotten and that we've learned.
It is understanding that our country, our freedom came from people who didn't even live to enjoy it. So that's why we can't take it for granted.
Okay, and it's about being proud. Okay, not just on National Day, but we have to be proud every day. Okay, whether we in KL, Sabah, or even the kampung. Okay, we have to be proud because Malaysia is ours to be loved. Right?
That's true.
Okay, so here's the challenge for everyone listening. Okay, when was the last time you felt proud to be Malaysian?
Was it watching our national athletes compete? Was it helping a tourist find their way around town? Or maybe even singing Negara with full pride during assembly?
Or maybe just realizing that your story, your people, your voice is matter to the land.
Okay, so it brings us to the ending of the episode. Okay, alright, friends, that's a wrap for today. From colonialism to Merdeka, from street protests to diplomacy, the spirit of Malaysian nationalism is alive and evolving. Okay, it's not just in history books, it's in our everyday actions, the way we speak, what we support, and how we treat each other. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk Lah. Don't forget to follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your friends, teachers, everyone. And see you next time, and Salam Merdeka!
Alright.